Number 2, Ben Steele. Number 3, Brendan McMahon. Number 4, Joe Golden. Number 5, Tom McTagg. And 44 is Jack McKenna. Head coach of the Mustangs, Ryan Swaller. And now here's the starting lineup for the Canaan Rams. Number 20, Leo Mangas. Number 33, Jonathan Hall. Number 4, Brandon Seachin. Number 5, Alex Gibbons. And number 10, Ryan McAleer. Coaching your Rams tonight is Zach Smith. And now, ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise for the Star-Spangled Banner?
Hello, everyone. I'm Ian Nicholas, joined by NC Rams JV B-baller Brendan Tiscornia and the rest of the NCTV crew. We've got a great Tuesday night matchup for you, a big FCAC East rivalry between the New Canaan Rams and Fairfield Warde Mustangs. New Canaan's John Hall wins the tip over the Mustangs' Jack McKenna, and we are off. The Rams are 5-2, riding a 2-game win streak. Meanwhile, Fairfield Warde is a crisp 4-1. Here they are here, Brendan Seachin getting it down low to Ryan McAleer, Leo Magnus, corner, Seachin, open 3, and he gets things kicked off with a bang from beyond the arc.
That can really set the tone for a game. Right off the bat, it can take the heart out of your opponent.
Warde moving it up now. Ben Steele gets it to a wide open Joey Golben for 3, and both teams exchange blows from the triple on open 3-pointers. Golben is also Warde's starting quarterback in football. He was in the fall, I should say, and is one of their star basketball players as well.
2-2-1 press for the Mustangs to start out the game.
Here's Leo Magnus, one of the Rams' better players as a junior and most athletic talents as well. Seachin is open in the corner, but he swings it back to Magnus. Down low to an open John Hall. Hall, it's triple teamed. Gibbons is open for 3, and he can't get it to go. He's been red hot over the last 3 games, averaging 21 points per game. In the corner, it's Steele. He swings it over to Tom McTagg, Warde's lone captain, and back to Steele here. Here's Jack McKenna, also one of the better players on the Warde football team as a tight end. Here's Golben, John Hall guarding him. Getting the ball is Brendan McMahon. That name sounds familiar, Brendan. And McMahon lets it go from 3, but it's no good. And it will be New Canaan basketball after an over-the-back foul on Jack McKenna, the junior big man.
a little too over-aggressive on the rebound there.
And definitely looking at this team, Brendan, this is one of the bigger teams we'll see in the FCAC. They have plenty of players well over 6'1", and 4 of their guys over 6'4". What challenge does that present for New Canaan?
Not only that, but these guys are big, tough kids, too. Not afraid to get down into it with you. A lot of big guys just depend on their length. These guys for Fairfield Warde use their strength as well.
Here's Golban driving right, losing the ball, and it will stay in Warde possession out on Alex Gibbons of New Canaan. Gibbons had a great game last week, dropping 21 points in their shocking win over Danbury. Not shocking, but a blowout win, which was not expected. He played a massive role in that one, leading the team. Here's Steele on the drive, the floater, and the splash as he gets Warde the lead for the first time tonight, 5-3. And here's Gibbons again, who will head to Carleton College in Minnesota, a D3 school next year. Sechin, Steele guarding him. Kicking it to Leo Magnus at the Rams logo. Slowing it down tempo-wise early on. And also, Alex Gibbons hasn't had, Ryan Mackler hasn't had the ball a lot here early. Gibbons lets it go, and he rims it in from the triple. 1 point lead for the Rams as he stays red hot.
One press for the Rams.
And trapped is McMahon. He gets loose and gets it to Golban. Golban kicking it to Steele. Steele for 3, well short. Golban nearly gets the rebound. Players colliding, and the ball is out of bounds. And it will stay in Fairfield Warde possession.
You can tell right from the beginning of this one that it's going to be a dogfight, Ian.
Between two of the FCAC's better teams. The Rams 2-1 in league play, and Warde is a perfect 3-0. Here's McMahon. And Golban now posting up and jabbing against Gibbons. He drives, goes up with it, and no good. Good shot contest from Leo Magnus. With just under 5 minutes in the first quarter so far. As you mentioned, it's a back and forth, 6-5. New Canaan leads as senior big man and captain Hank Poley will check into the Rams when he has a chance.
And both these teams have a lot of depth, so they're both looking to run a lot tonight.
Gibbons pull-up jumper short, nearly grabs the rebound, but McTeague gets it back for the Mustangs. Here's McMahon slowing it down. Finally finding a man in the corner. Sechin nearly gets the steal on Steele, and that's going to be a travel. Taking an extra step there was Tom McTeague.
I wasn't sure on whether to shoot or drive.
And he didn't either, as it's a turnover. Christian Sweeney, the star junior and sixth man for the Rams, as well as senior captain Hank Poley, working his way back from an early season knee injury, are in the game for New Canaan. Here's Sechin. Look to spot up for 3, then passes it to Poley, and the pass is then intercepted by Fairfield Warde's Jack McKenna. On the break here, 3-pointer from McMahon is no good as he hits the deck, but Joey Golban gets the rebound. Lofting it down low to McKenna. He catches it football style, and they're going to say it's a push on New Canaan. And coaching the Rams tonight is not fan favorite and FCAC reigning Coach of the Year, Danny Melzer. It's former Stamford High head coach, which Melzer was as well, Zach Smith. He just took the jacket off. He's in game mode. We'll tell more about him and his story later. But right now, a bucket there from McTeague. Here's Sechin, getting it to Christian Sweeney and back to Sechin. The Rams' arguably best three-point shooter outside of Gibbons. Getting it to Ryan McAleer for one of the first times tonight is the Rams' star point guard. Getting it to Sweeney, swinging it around. Gibbons has an open look from 3, and he just cannot miss early on.
He's been feeling it in these last couple games. He wants to show why Carleton College thought he was a special player and want him to play basketball out there.
Steele nearly loses it. Gets it to McTague. Gibbons has all 9 of the Rams' points so far, exclusively off three-pointers. Step back 3 from Steele is smooth as silk. What an excellent shot creation there. A back-and-forth battle. No one can establish an early lead. Just a 1-point game. Poley in the corner. Down low, beautiful pass, setting up Christian Sweeney with the wide open three, and he airballs too strong. Poley fights for the rebound, and it's going to be a foul on Warde. And head coach Danny Melzer is out tonight with the flu, so his former Stanford High assistant and former Stanford High head coach Zach Smith will be coaching the game for the Rams on the sideline. Shout out to Coach Melzer at home. The players miss you, but they're in good hands with another reigning FCAC Coach of the Year in Coach Smith. And JV coach Mike Tisha is also going to play a big role coaching the Rams tonight as well. That one's going to be headed the other way. What happened there, Brendan?
They called a moving screen on Captain Hank Poley.
Well, he's still trying to get readjusted. He's been without basketball for a long time with the injury as he gets checked out of the game early on for John Hall. He got called for a moving screen last week against Danbury, and he gets another call here. And checking in for Warde is two of their better players, a pair of sophomore identical twins after that missed layup. Here's McAleer speeding down the break. Wide open three-pointer in the corner for Seachin. It's too strong. New Canaan's racing for the rebound, and Christian Sweeney grabs it and resets.
We're looking to slow it down here.
Getting it to McAleer. He drives baseline. Back out to a wide open Gibbons, jabbing and resetting as he's doubled. Christian Sweeney gets open. Down low to Hall. Beautiful ball movement. Not a great finish, though.
By Justin Davis.
Justin Davis's twin brother, Jordan, brings it up. These two are a pair of sophomores and some of the best players on this Warde team, but they're inexperienced. They're just sophomores, and Justin Davis gets called for the travel.
They actually called a push on Dennis Parker there.
It's my mistake. Parker, the 6'5" senior, showing you just how big this team is, even though they have most of their backups in right now. McAleer is getting pressed by Justin Davis. And he gets it to Christian Sweeney. Rams still down one early on. And that one's going to be going the other way.
A really chippy game so far.
Refs are calling a lot of what they see as Seachin is called for a foul. Looks like a push as Coach Smith is a bit confused there.
Eli Fie will check out of the game. He's bleeding.
Putting it all on the line. Checked in for a moment, but the 6'6" senior is out. Getting it in the corner for Dennis Parker. And now here's Justin Davis. Davis, a deep three ball. That's a college. That's an NBA three ball. Beautiful shot.
That's Steph Curry range right there.
That's a lot of confidence from a sophomore. And here's McAleer looking to follow it up with something pretty of his own. Sweeney jabbing. And on the break, it's Davis getting it to his teammate, Kyle Harrell. And New Canaan's going to call the early timeout as Warde's on a 7-0 run. And Coach Smith, more than qualified to be a head coach in the FCAC, a guy who was FCAC Coach of the Year 2 years ago. He brought Stanford High to the playoffs in each of the last 2 seasons. He was there for 3 years, and he's one of the best players in Connecticut college basketball history, the former D3 Player of the Year and 3rd all-time in scoring at Connecticut College, as we get a second look at some of the action here from the first quarter.
Now, the issue with that play is you get him to miss the first one, but no one's there to gather the rebound, and they get an easy finish.
And New Canaan's just been out-muscled, and they've been trying to shoot the ball well, but outside of Gibbons, no one's getting involved, as this Warde team has been phenomenal from beyond the arc so far. Here's Seachin getting guarded by Davis, and now Harrell. Here's Gibbons, driving left, going up with it off the glass. It's no good. Rebound from Jordan Davis. Davis goes all the way and misses. Warde gets the rebound. Euro step move is going to be called for a push on New Canaan. It's a 6-point game. 35.2 seconds left in the first quarter. It's going to be Joey Golban back to inbound as Warde looks to hold on to this big lead. Inbounding it to Jordan Davis. who had 13 points in their win against Norwalk last week, and so did his twin brother, Justin, who also had 13. Euro step move to the lane, and a beautiful finish by Kyle Harrell, the 6'3" senior. The Rams just can't guard those inside moves right now. Down 8 points, looking to get the last shot of the quarter. Give and go to Gibbons. 7 seconds remaining. Looking for a shot. He's going to go ISO on Goldman. Pull up three, no good. It's going to clank out. Ward's going to hold on to it with an 8-point lead at the end of the back and forth first quarter, which sees the Mustangs up big. Where does Coach Smith, Coach Tisch, and the rest of his coaching staff have to direct his team in the second quarter to get back in this game?
Well, this Rams team's looking really frustrated on offense. Towards the end of the quarter there, they're putting up shots that weren't the best shots and aren't the shots you're looking for on offense. Coach Smith needs to do is he needs to stress the importance of having patience on offense and more passes so that you're not taking these bad shots and you're getting open.
And Fairfield Warde is one of the best defensive teams in the FCFA, hold opponents to under 43 points per game defensively, and they've been on a tear to start the season. Meanwhile, New Canaan has been one of the hotter teams offensively in the FCAC. They've scored 60 or more in back-to-back games, 66 on the road against Greenwich and 61 in their win against Danbury. But what do you see from this, or what have you seen tape-wise and live in action? What are some areas that they can attack defensively on this stout Warde team, if there are any?
Well, especially with this lineup on the floor right now, New Canaan has to use their strength to their advantage. You got to get down in the paint and get layups.
Which they haven't been able to do much of tonight as we open up the second quarter. Here's Davis. Swinging it to Harrell. Harrell drives. It's picked off by McAleer. It's a 2-on-1. And he'll go up with it, and he will finish off the glass. First bucket of the night for Ryan McAleer, the senior captain. Back to a 6-point game. McAleer intercepts another pass, dimes it up to Christian Sweeney, and the junior just can't make a pretty easy layup, but there was a man in his face.
Coach Smith is calling for the foul.
And he doesn't get it. Here's Golban working against Sweeney, driving to the lane. And an excellent finish with a bounce through 3 NC defenders. Here's Gibbons bringing it up for New Canaan. Listed as a forward, more of a 4, but he can handle the ball. Most of the players can in this Rams lineup. Paul tries to thread the needle down low to McAleer, and it nearly hits him in the face as it goes out of bounds off his hands. Jordan Davis, and here's Harrell. Back to Jordan Davis. New Canaan pressing a little bit. Davis drives. Beautiful dish to Golban. Can't finish. And the 6'8" John Hall grabs the rebound. Beautiful move by Magnus. And he can't get it to go on the fast break. A little bit of sloppy play here. Here's Harrell. No look pass. Is able to be corralled and finished by Jordan Davis. Heads up play there from the sophomore. Ball was loose. Just went up with it. Snatching it out of the air. Pulley will check in next time the Rams have a chance to get him in the game. They could use his shooting, as he made 2 threes in their win against Danbury, as well as Aaron Fishman. Gibbons is open in the corner, but a foul is called as a Warde player hits the deck.
And they're going to call it against Warde.
So even though many of the Warde fans here were looking for a foul on New Canaan, it will go the other way around. Let's get a second look at that. John Hall fell on Dennis Parker, but it looks like Parker was the one who brought Hall to the ground. So Gibbons will inbound.
Joey will be called for the foul.
Ball is loose as McAleer is able to outrun Justin Davis for that loose ball. Magnus drives, takes an extra step, and it's headed the other way as he turns it over.
We're going to call a charge on him.
They were getting physical. They needed to get to the lane, as you mentioned, and Magnus got a little too physical there. Here's Justin Davis, number 10, and his twin brother on the other end of the court, Jordan's number 21. Both of them are 6'4", and both of them are extremely talented players. And Coach Ryan Swaller said if these two step up, there's really no limit to what we can do.
It's not only their length, but it's also their handling and their shooting ability.
Davis for three, no good. That is from Jordan Davis. Here's Magnus on the break. Hesitation, loses the ball, and Davis picks it up. Going all the way, he will, despite a good shot contest from McAleer. And another timeout is called by Zach Smith.
This game's getting out of hand here.
In an interesting head coaching matchup we have here between Coach Smith, who's one of the best players in Connecticut college history, and Coach Ryan Swaller for Fairfield Warde, as we get a second look at that really great fast break lay-in from Jordan Davis. But Swaller was a former national champion at UConn back in 2004. He played 21 games after a pair of seasons. He was a former walk-on. He worked all his way up. And over the last 11 years, he's been the head coach of Fairfield Warde. And they've gotten off to a hot start this season. And the Davises cannot be stopped off the bench. And the Warde starting lineup has been hot as ever from beyond the arc.
Looks like Justin Davis will check out of the game in favor of Jack McKenna.
Not going to lie, it's kind of hard to call both of these guys. You rarely see twin brothers playing that much together. Christian Sweeney and Braden Sweeney are twins for the Rams. Braden's a great JV player for him. Christian's more of the sixth man on the varsity squad, so I don't have to call two of them at the same time. But this one, it's getting tough. But they're two great players on both ends of the court. You mentioned they're extremely athletic, but they're also playing really poised for a pair of sophomores.
Well, that's thanks to the AAU circuit. These guys don't just play basketball in the winter. It's all-year sport for them, perfecting their craft whenever they can.
Here's Aaron Fishman checking in for the first time tonight for New Canaan. Looking for a pass. He goes back to Christian Sweeney. Those two are just passing it back and forth in a game of tag. Again, Christian Sweeney is open for the three, and again, he won't make it. A rebound from Gibbons. Shot from Fishman. It's no good from the three. Another rebound from New Canaan. Ryan McAleer corrals it. Ball is stripped from Jack McKenna and out of bounds on Warde.
The Rams can just not get anything going on offense right now. Fairfield Warde is on a 16-2 run.
Really good point. New Canaan had a bit of an early lead, but they are down 12 here with just under 5 minutes in quarter number 2 remaining. McAleer looks to slow it down. Back to Fishman. Getting it to Gibbons. Gibbons. Pass is intercepted by McMahon. McMahon floating it up to Steele, and Steele will get it to go despite the good effort from Hank Poley. Now down 14 as Warde brings out the press on defense. McAleer looking to set up something here. Gets it to Christian Sweeney and right back to McAleer. Aaron Fishman. Christian Sweeney in the corner. Good ball movement from New Canaan, but will it end in points? Fishman puts it up and can't put it in. Hank Poley rips another rebound away from Warde.
Go to the line.
And a good effort there from the senior captain. Fighting down low with Jordan Davis, the 6'4" sophomore. And he'll head to the line for a 1-on-1 opportunity. It'll actually be a shooting foul, so he'll get 2 regardless of how the first one goes as it clanks off the backboard. Jack McKenna checks out for Warde, and Eli Fay checks in.
Looks like he's all bandaged up, Ian.
Good to see. Playing through the injury to the face. McMahon looking for something as New Canaan keeps up the press look. Wide open off the cut is Steele, as Coach Smith is not happy with that effort there. Who knows how Ben Steele got that wide open, but he makes the most of the opportunity and puts it in for his second straight bucket. Sweeney back to McAleer. Rams have not been able to penetrate the inside of a three-point line. McAleer thuds and turns it over. Steele with the steal. Good play on words there. Good ball movement from Warde. Ball is out of bounds. It will stay.
Off on Fishman.
It will stay in Mustang possession, as you mentioned. Now down 15 points with just over 3 minutes left to play in the first half. Here's Fay. Getting into McTague. Into Jordan Davis, setting up a play here. He's got a mismatch with Aaron Fishman on him. Ben Steele's open for three, and it rims out. Good rebound from Alex Gibbons. Getting it to Aaron Fishman on the break. Gibbons, right back to Fishman. And good transition defense from Warde. McAleer will drive baseline, trying to swing it over to Sweeney. He keeps it in bounds. Here's Poley in the post. Ball still flying around. Finally, McAleer gets open for three, and he splashes it home for a much-needed bucket for New Canaan. Lobbing it up and putting it in off the beautiful pass is Eli Fay for Fairfield Warde. And players told me that Coach Smith is one of the loudest guys in practice, and he's barking at the guys now to get back in the game. In his first game as a head coach for New Canaan, with head coach Danny Melzer out with the flu, which has been spreading around New Canaan High School.
They're going to call a foul on Jordan Davis. I have to keep looking at my sheet to tell who's who.
It's tough. Joey Golban will check in, as well as Justin Davis. Meanwhile, Jordan Davis, alongside Warde captain Tom McTeague, will check out. 1:52 left in half number one. 29 Warde, just 15 New Canaan. Warde playing one of their best games defensively all season. Here's McAleer, defense from McMahon. They're slowing it down here, just looking to get something. Nearly stolen from Steele. Fishman looking for the pass. As Warde claps after another great reset defensively. Swinging it to a deep three for Gibbons. Nothing but net from downtown. When the Rams have nothing, Gibbons has an answer. Have the Rams pretty much given him the green light?
As a three-year starter, he's earned the right to shoot the shots that he takes. And by making those shots, just gives him more confidence.
Brendan McMahon is resetting with just under 58 ticks left on the clock. No shot clock in New Canaan, so Warde could hold on to it for the last shot at half. But it looks like they're trying to get something set up here. McMahon locked up by McAleer. Swinging it to Justin Davis in the corner. Just under 40 seconds left. Down low to Golban. Good defense from Poley. And Christian Sweeney comes up with the rebound, getting it to Alex Gibbons on the break. Gibbons bringing it up and putting it in, but they're going to get called for the travel. Gibbons, that is. That bucket a little too good to be true. No, it's going to be an and one.
They're saying the foul's on the floor.
And the foul was before the shot, my mistake. So instead of getting the bucket, Gibbons is going to have to earn his point at the line. It was on Brendan McMahon. Ben Steele puts it in. Ben Steele checks out for Fairfield Warde. Checking back in is starter Kyle Harrell. Gibbons gets it to go. It's back to a 10-point game. But still plenty of work to be done for New Canaan in the second half if they want to get back in this one. What happened here? How come they called it as a floor foul instead of...
You missed it here, but Gibbons missed the shot, and he drew a foul on the rebound.
So it'll stay in Warde possession after they secured the rebound. Gibbons fouls. Looks like Warde's going to set up for the last shot of the half here with 20 ticks left on the clock. Here's Brendan McMahon, Aaron Fishman guarding him. Gets it to Kyle Harrell, swings it to Joey Golban. Give and go to Justin Davis. Back to McMahon, 4 seconds left. McMahon is trapped. And no shot has gotten off. That shot will not count from Kyle Harrell. That was one heck of a quick half, but Fairfield Ward's got to be proud. They're up double-digit points. They've had a double-digit lead really since late in the first quarter, Brendan. It's 29 Mustangs, just 19 New Canaan.
What I've seen here today is New Canaan just can't seem to figure out Fairfield Ward's 2-3 zone. They've seen it before against other teams like Harding and Caner Tech and Trinity Catholic, but tonight they're not getting the ball to the paint, and they're not getting open three-pointers.
We'll see more from the second half. We're going to wrap it up here from the first half. Warde is up 10, 29-19 over New Canaan. Ian Nicholas, Brendan Tiscornia, and the rest of the NCTV crew will see you in the second. Hello, everyone. I'm Ian Nicholas, joined by Brendan Tiscornia and the rest of the NCTV crew for second half action of the New Canaan Rams, who host the Fairfield Warde Mustangs. The 4-1 Mustangs have a nice 10-point lead over the Rams, which they've held for most of this ball game. Gibbons leads the Rams with 10 points. Meanwhile, Steele leads Mustangs with 9 points. Let's take you through the first half highlights.
Well, this Rams team has had trouble getting back on defense. And when they have, more Twins have been terrific. They've been making shot after shot.
And not to mention, the shooting's been great for them as well, Warde. They really just can't be stopped from the perimeter, which has led New Canaan defenders to press up and lead to a lot of open opportunities at the lane for Warde. And they've done great through traffic as well, Brendan.
Defensively for Warde, they've been terrific. Their 2-3 zone has been hard to figure out, and when they have been pressing, they've been forcing turnovers.
They're known as one of the toughest teams in the FCAC. They are known as one of the toughest teams in the FCAC defensively, and tonight their calling card is being played. McAleer down low, Magnus for the 3 ball, and he banks it in off the pass from McAleer, getting the second half started off right for New Canaan. Here's Brendan McMahon working on Ryan McAleer. Gets it to Jack McKenna, guarded by John Hall. In the corner, it's Golban going baseline, and that's an air ball on the layup attempt, but Warde's going to get the rebound thanks to Captain Tom McTeague. Slowing it down is McMahon. Give and go to McTeague, and another give and go to Joey Golban. Golban back to McMahon. Here's
Rams
McTeague.
are switching all these ball screens because in the event that it is a guard to big switch.
And Steele misses at the lane, but Joey Goldman somehow gets the ball back for Warde.
Everyone's going on offense, but no one has the ball.
And a beautiful shot from the baseline by Ben Steele. And then it looks like Brandon Sechin is called for a foul at the tail end of that.
You're going to call a double foul.
They say it's on number 5, Black, which would be Tom McTague. Sechin hits the bench after the foul. That's already his 3rd of the game. 2 more and he'll foul out. Here's Gibbons running it up for the Rams. He's run a lot of sets for them as their point guard tonight, which is usually held by Ryan McAleer and Aaron Fishman. Was that a part of the game plan for this game?
No, it just sort of happened, really. They need someone to step up, and he's been the only one willing to.
He's got a team-high 10 points. Gibbons,
Make
money.
That 13.
Good timing as always when you talk about Alex Gibbons. He was a great player last year as somewhat of a scoring sidekick next to Matt Brand. This year, it's his show. He's looked fantastic in the role for New Canaan as their leader on offense. 6-point game. Ball kept in bounds by Warde. Golban, deep 2, splashes it in. Good shot creation there from Warde. The sharp shooting from the Mustangs continues in the second half, with just under 6 minutes left to go in quarter number 3. Leo Magnus looking for a pass, jabbing, finding Gibbons. Gibbons the back to Magnus. Christian Sweeney, the fellow junior, gets the ball again in the corner. Good pass to McAleer, right back out to Christian Sweeney for 3, and he's now 0 for 3 on 3-pointers tonight. But he's still confident in his shot. Brendan McMahon to the lane, and it's swatted away by John Hall, but out of bounds on New Canaan. That 6'8" height helps there for John Hall. Steele to inbound for the Mustangs. Lobbing it up off the pick and roll, and they're going to call
foul on Jack McKenna.
Jack McKenna for the push. Good job of selling it from Leo Magnus. But off the pick and roll, a little bit too much momentum from the 6'6" junior. And he rumbled his way into Magnus.
Dennis Parker will check into the game for him.
Hank Poley will check into the game for New Canaan. They usually have a three-man, big-man rotation of Hank Poley, John Hall, and Dennis Mulcahy, a junior. But Mulcahy is also out tonight with the flu. Here's McAleer. Looking for something here. Steele playing tight defense, and he pushes him right off him. He needs a little bit of room to work. Gibbons, 3-ball, no good. Had a little bit of room.
We're going to call a push on Magnus as Parker heads to the floor.
That bucket won't count. Warde's going to make a big substitution here, putting in 4 new players when they can. And they will. They'll put in the Davis twins, Justin and Jordan, as well as Eli Thay.
And Kyle Harrell.
And when you played against these guys, Jordan and Justin, on the hoop circuit, what was their biggest skill outside of their great athleticism when you saw them play?
Well, they're both 6'4". They have incredible length, especially for the FCAC high school level. And not only do they have that length, but they can shoot and dribble the ball. They're the size of an NBA point guard, and they're playing against a regular high school team.
Leo Magnus is called for the reach-in foul, and Aaron Fishman will check into the game for Magnus. Coach Smith, usually when a player gets fouled tonight, has been quick to pull him out, make sure they can stay in the game.
He had fouls on back-to-back possessions. He didn't want Leo to get too frustrated.
That happened early with Poley, and he pulled him right out. Here's Justin Davis. Big mismatch here up against Aaron Fishman. Gets it to Eli Thay. And now to Kyle Harrell. Give and go to Jordan Davis. Hank Poley is switched onto him. In the corner, it's Thay for 3, and he well overshoots it on the air ball. Christian Sweeney galloping on the fast break after the rebound. Loses a bit of momentum, and then he gets fouled.
On Harrell.
It will be a push on the 6'3" senior Kyle Harrell. New Canaan trailed 12 at the half. They've made it an 8-point game. They've gotten close, but that Warde defense has made a comeback in the middle of this third quarter. And as soon as I say that, they fall apart on the inbound. Hank Poley gets his first bucket off that Ryan McAleer pass. Here's Justin Davis. Getting it to his twin brother Jordan, and a give and go right back to Justin. And that's going to be a moving screen
on Jordan Davis.
They were doing the Davis pick and roll, and the sophomores couldn't nail the timing on that one.
It's going to be an exciting duo for the next 3 years for these Mustangs.
Warde has always been a great team in the FCAC. And with these two guys, especially with head coach Ryan Swaller, who will return for his 12th year next season, they have a great core to build around. Here's Steele. Gets it to Davis. Jordan Davis, that is. A little bit of confusion on offense on where to set up. Getting it to his twin brother, Justin. Working on Alex Gibbons. Nothing much developing. Here's an ISO here. Driving right, going up with it. No foul is called. Good defense from Henry Poley. But a lot of contact, as you mentioned.
Two physical teams.
Wide open is Ryan McAleer for 3, and he banks it in the corner. The bank is open on Tuesday night from New Canaan, and Warde needs a timeout.
And this crowd is finally starting to feel it a little here.
Warde got out to a dominant jump early on. We expected a back-and-forth game, and finally we are getting it. It's just a 3-point game right now. As Warde calls their first timeout, things getting a bit chippy, not only on the court, but between these two bomb squads.
Yeah.
Let's get a second look at that one. McAleer doesn't shoot it too often, but great vision there.
He's hit 2 tonight.
I mean, good vision from Gibbons, but he was pretty wide open. And you have to account for him, even though he doesn't shoot it a lot. When he takes it, he usually makes it.
All these guys have to be ready to play every position on the court. Tonight, McAleer's kind of taking a back seat in the point guard role, and he's playing some power forward and some wing reps.
He's a team player. He's a captain for a reason. He'll do anything for this team. Also a captain for the New Canaan baseball team in the spring. He will be I should say. He's a great player for them as well. And speaking of his heroic efforts, in the Danbury game a week ago was the 1-year anniversary of his game-winning shot. And this Friday, they will travel on the road to play Stanford. Danny Melzer and Zach Smith's alma mater, both of them the head coaches there. And Mackler made the game-winning shot against them. So that should be a very interesting game on the road in Stanford.
We will not be covering that game, so make sure to show out for it.
Golbin's jabbing a lot. Couldn't find anything. And now in the game is Dennis Parker for Warde. Steele jabbing. Getting it down low to Parker. Steal from McAleer, picked up by Christian Sweeney. Ball hits the deck, and it's right back in Warde possession as Poley takes a tough fall. Here's Jordan Davis. Beautiful move, no finish. Solid defense from McAleer on the shot contest.
They're going to call a push on Jordan Davis, I believe.
That was after Alex Gibbons hit the deck.
No, they're actually going to call it on Gibbons.
Gibbons hit the deck and gets the foul. That's a lose-lose. As Jordan Davis will inbound with 2:29 left in quarter number 3. New Canaan's brought it back to a 3-point game. Lobbing it up to Golbin, and he goes wide receiver on him. The former varsity quarterback hauls it in. Getting the screen from Parker, now working a mismatch on Henry Poley before getting it to Steele. Justin Davis, he's going to look to take over this matchup here. Good move to the left. Hesitating, and can't get it to go off the glass.
Rebound McAleer.
McAleer gets it to Gibbons. Gibbons trying to get it to Poley, but the foul will be called on the floor before that pass happened. So Gibbons will inbound. Smart foul there from Warde's number 4, Joey Golbin. Justin Davis checks out, and Brendan McMahon checks in for the Mustangs. Here's Christian Sweeney finding Alex Gibbons. Gibbons trapped in the corner a little bit before dishing it to McAleer, who will reset. Getting it to Fishman. Fishman working on McMahon. Fishman with the screen for Gibbons. Gibbons slashing and getting it out to Christian Sweeney after a good move. Poley loses it. Good play defensively from Dennis Parker. Here on the break is McMahon. And good transition defense from the Rams, not allowing Warde to get anything on the break. That ball is flying out of bounds, but staying in Warde possession. After Dennis Parker went up for it, and it was chucked out of bounds by one of the 2 NC defenders draped on him. Davis to inbound. Getting it to Brendan McMahon. McMahon goes up with it with the left hand, and he can't get it to go on the bank layup.
Unlike the first half, Mustangs are having trouble getting shots to fall here.
And defensively, they've allowed 11 points for New Canaan, which isn't a lot for most teams, but it's a lot for Warde to give up in a quarter. Here's Sweeney. As you mentioned, they've only scored 4 points all quarter. Warde, that is. Gibbons pulls up even though he's smothered, and he gets it to go as he hushes the Warde bomb squad. Just pure confidence in that look. I mentioned it a lot last year. When he's confident, he can make just about any shot he puts his mind to. Here's McMahon. It's just a 1-point game. Slashing, but good defense from McAleer. Steele is open for the mid-range J, but it's no good. And it will go to New Canaan as Warde is stunned. New Canaan's gone on a 13-4 run this quarter to get right back in this defensive ball game. 20 seconds left in the third quarter, so New Canaan will hold for the last shot. Let's see what Coach Zach Smith draws up here. Poley gets it to Gibbons. Gibbons commanding the troops. Working on Golbin, gets the screen, and it's going to be called for a moving screen on Poley. That's the 3rd time in the last 2 games that Hank Poley's been called for a moving screen. And Poley
He's gonna be
shoving
fight on the court.
Dennis Parker. He's getting a little over-emotional in his second game back in the lineup. And everyone's clapping. The Canaan players are clapping. Warde players are clapping. Every fan is clapping. It seemed like it was Dennis Parker who started it. He was giving a little bit of words to Poley after he got called for his second moving screen on the game. And Poley's an aggressive guy. He's a vocal leader for a reason. He's a vocal player on the court. Driving is McMahon, finishing is McMahon, and that is how they will end the third quarter. A good momentum bucket for Fairfield Warde to boost their lead to 3 points.
It had been a couple minutes since they'd last scored. Now they're finally carrying some momentum going into the fourth quarter.
And let's look at some of those highlights from the third quarter in a second. But what a quarter it was for New Canaan to get back in the game. Down 10 points at the half, 29-19. They've evaporated that lead to just 3 points.
Looked like
35
a little bit
to 32.
of a blowout there, but they're finally showing some signs of life, and it's going to come right down to the finish here.
Leo Magnus got it started off the Ryan McAleer assist on the bank three, his first and only points of the game for Magnus. Steele leads Warde with a team-high 11 points. He had some big plays. Gibbons had another fantastic quarter. Still leading the Rams in scoring. Joey Golden with that deep mid-range shot. He's had a good game. And a beautiful pass off the inbound there to Hank Poley, who had that altercation with Parker late in the quarter. McAleer had a big quarter as well, not only passing, but banking in that three-pointer to make it a three-point game. And Gibbons again. You know, we don't need to bring up video games, but in 2K, sometimes you're smothered and the screen will save it. You're absolutely clamped up. It doesn't matter with Alex Gibbons. He'll take that shot if the guy's right in his face. You got to love it when he makes it. Christian Sweeney with the steal. Christian Sweeney with the finish with the right hand. This is real life, not video games. Back to a three-point game. Back to a one-point game. 35-34.
They're going to call a foul on Jonathan Hall.
And when I talked to Coach Melzer last season, before really the start of the year, and we talked about Alex Gibbons, he said when he got here to New Canaan High School 4 years ago, he was a pure power forward, a guy who played in the paint pretty much exclusively. And to see where he's come now is one heck of a transformation.
And again, I talked with Mr. Gibbons, Alex's father. He played in his youth days as a big man, and once he got to the high school, he had to learn guard skills, and that's why he's going to play in college, because he could change his game to adapt.
And Coach Melzer has required his players to adapt, and the players had to adapt tonight playing under a new head coach in Zach Smith. Hope you're feeling well at home, Coach Melzer. But right now, the Rams are right in it as McKenna misses one of two free throws to make it a 2-point lead for the Mustangs. Here's Aaron Fishman with the ball for New Canaan near the logo. Steele is guarding him. McAleer couldn't get a clean screen for him. Getting it to Gibbons. Gibbons three. Gibbons no good. McAleer goes up with it in an excellent finish as he hits the deck. It's a tie ball game for the first time in a long time. Here's Brendan McMahon. McAleer's clapping with confidence.
McAleer is a magician around the hoop. He can finish anyway, anytime.
One of the best finishers in the FCAC. And speaking of high-quality finishes, there's Jordan Davis with a great bucket of his own to get the Warde lead right back. Just under 7 minutes left to go in regulation. Here's Gibbons, the Rams' leading scorer on the year and on the game. Getting it right back to him is McAleer. Spinning in the post. Bounce pass is nearly a turnover. And McMahon is going to get called for the foul.
On Brendan McMahon grabbing onto John Hall while he's lying on the ground.
I don't know if he grabbed onto him. At first he might have, but then it looked like he almost kind of got glued to him. I've seen that in football where a guy's cleat gets locked up with a guy, but I've never seen that in basketball where they just get glued to each other. John Hall looked like a parent just dragging his kid on the ground. there's a foul on the inbound, so that John Hall layup won't count off the McAleer pass.
And they're going to call it on Jack McKenna, so it stays in the Rams' possession.
You're exactly right, Brendan. That's his 4th foul. So the 6'6" big man, Jack McKenna, is 1 foul away from fouling out. So Coach Swaller will check him out for Dennis Parker.
Now both teams are in the 1-and-1 on offense.
And that pass is lost by Gibbons, picked up by Davis, getting it to Golban. And getting called for the foul is Ryan McAleer. Golban will head to the line for 2. I was just going to mention Brandon Seachin hasn't been in the game for a while, and he will check in for New Canaan after this free throw.
The call was actually called on the floor. Oh, sorry.
So Golban gets a pair of free throws here. First one is nothing but net to make it a 3-point game. So far this year, Warde is 3-0, one of the best teams in the FCIAC East Division, with wins over West Hill, Norwalk, and Fairfield Prep, and also a loss against arch rival Fairfield Ludlow in the Holiday Tournament. They won in the Holiday Tournament last year for the first time in a long time, 10 years, by just 1 point. They've had one of their best starts in a long time this year.
Those two played again in the state tournament as well, too.
They lost 3 times to Ludlow last season. Good point. Here's Gibbons. Getting it to Seachin. Looked for the shot, couldn't find it. Gibbons will drive right, kick it to an open Christian Sweeney in the corner, and he splashes home the 3. Missed his first 3 triples, nails his 4th from beyond the arc. Back to a 1-point game. McMahon slows it down for Warde. Tight defense from McAleer. And here from John Hall. And that pass is picked off and saved and finished on a dunk. The Davis twins are at it. That was a crazy change right there. McAleer stole the pass from Justin Davis. Then Justin Davis stole the pass back, and Jordan Davis finishes with a slam. What a crazy bunch of events that was. Here's Sweeney getting it to Gibbons, driving, and he's going to get...
They're going to call a reach on Jordan Davis.
Good call. You need to get as physical as you can get when guarding Alex Gibbons, because you mentioned trained as a big man, he can drive, but he can shoot. He's got those guard skills now, so he can do it all. So you have to get physical when guarding Alex Gibbons. Free throw is good, so he'll get another shot from the line on the 1-and-1. The big athletic Leo Magnus checks into the game for New Canaan. He had a dunk earlier on this year. Rams haven't dunked the ball in a while, but that's not a priority for them right now. They just want to try to get back in this game with the W.
A dunk is 2 points, just like a layup.
But you mentioned Coach Melzer gives bonus points in the layup line for dunks.
Not anymore.
Uh-oh. McMahon drives. McMahon is fouled by Leo Magnus. He'll head to the line for a couple of big free throws as he comes up limping a little bit. Looks like that right knee is not in the best of conditions for the 6'1" senior. After getting some early fouls on moving screens and also getting a little bit physical with Dennis Parker early on, Hank Pulley's back in the game. You know he wants to get some revenge. McMahon misses both shots from the line, so it's still just a 1-point Warde lead. 4:44 left to go and counting in the 4th quarter. Seachin's looking for something. Finally finds Christian Sweeney in the corner. McAleer's guarded tight by Justin Davis. Gibbons gets a screen from Pulley. Can't set up a pick and roll there. McAleer driving. Contact. Can't get the and one to go, but he'll get 2 shots at the line. The magician pulls a rabbit out of his hat and will head to the line. I like that nickname. McAleer and the Rams have a chance to retake the lead for the first time since the first quarter, if I'm not mistaken. But he will miss the first free throw, and now they only have a chance to tie it up at 42.
Jack McKenna and Ben Steele will check in for the Mustangs.
Steele.
Brendan McMahon and Dennis Parker will come out of the game.
Steele, the leading scorer for Fairfield Warde on the game. They could use his shot-making ability late in the stretch. 42-42 with just under 4:20 left to go from the New Canaan High School gym. 5-2 Rams and the 4-1 Mustangs as Coach Ryan Swaller will call a timeout for Warde. It's been one heck of a run for New Canaan. You mentioned it. Hope was bleak at the half. They were down 10. Warde was sticking to their bread and butter of intense defense and big athletic players. And checking in on some around the league scores. But touching on the other point, New Canaan obviously has gotten themselves back into this game. Staples is up in a big game. Another one of the best teams in the FCAC. That's a big game for them.
So far
Undefeated Staples, a bit of a surprise.
A lot of their underclassmen are stepping up. They're a team to be reckoned with in the FCAC.
Speaking of the FCAC, our wonderful producer, Cortland Parrott, has a nice little FCAC standings graphic up, so let's check that out. In the FCAC East Division, Ridgefield is 3-0, and Fairfield Warde is 2-0 in FCAC play. Meanwhile, New Canaan is 2-1. Staples undefeated with a blowout 71-36 win. Thanks to Terry Dinan hooking us up with that one. But a bit of a surprise. We're going to be covering that game next month, New Canaan Staples. That should be another good one. Staples and Danbury were the two lone undefeated teams left in the FCAC last week, and Staples won on last Tuesday, and then the Rams would beat Danbury that Friday. It's a 42-42 game with 4 minutes left. Jordan Davis on the drive. Jordan Davis with a floater finish. Gets some help from the rim as it rolls in. Here's Brandon Seachin, who didn't play a lot of this half after some foul trouble. He's got 3. Mackler's posting up, gets it to Gibbons on the perimeter. Stepping back, slashing. Behind the back pass to Hank Poley. Poley will now give Gibbons a screen, but Warde's making it a priority to shut down number 5. Mackler was open for 3. He gets it in the corner for Christian Sweeney, and he drills it home. Back-to-back 3-pointers made by the junior marksman, Christian Sweeney.
And that is New Canaan's first lead since the first quarter when it was 9-7.
Warde, a big possession here, driving left and getting it to Ben Steele. Back to Jordan Davis, gets the screen from McKenna. Working on Hank Poley, he's got a mismatch. Shake and bake, no finish. And Golbin's gonna get called for an over the back. On the rebound attempt. Poley's been matched up one-on-one with the Davises a couple times tonight in some mismatches, and he's held up well. As we get a second look at that one.
Gibbons will go to the line for a 1-and-1.
Both teams are in the bonus. And Gibbons is a really solid free throw shooter, so a chance to extend the Rams' lead here.
Brendan McMahon checking in for Golbin.
No problem. He missed a couple of free throws earlier. McMahon, that is. But Gibbons is perfect on his first shot of the game. An interesting choice to put Henry Poley out of the chance to rebound, even though he's by far the Rams' biggest player on the court. Maybe they're just that confident in Alex Gibbons because he drills both shots at the lines to re-extend the lead.
They want to set up their defense. Well, they want to set up their defense for the next possession. They don't want to get burnt on an over-the-top pass.
And they set up well. There's nothing here. Here's McMahon. Getting it to Davis. And right back to McMahon with Hank Poley guarding him. He drives left, looking for a pass, finds a cutting Steele, and Steele just can't finish. A malfunction in his shot there from that tight Rams D. Mackler gets it to Gibbons, looking to add to their lead, which they haven't had for quite some time. Nice work from Gibbons, but he can't find the shot. Mackler, beautiful moves as well. And Gibbons will reset here with just over 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Sechin gets an open opportunity, doesn't take it. He's flying around with the ball, and finally the senior gets called for the travel. And John Hall is going to check in for New Canaan for Hank Poley.
Will come out of the game.
And Hall has been the Rams' starting big man for most of this year, starting all but one game. But Poley and him have exchanged minutes since he returned to the lineup last week. Poley, that is. Here's Davis, getting it to Steele. To McMahon, working on McAleer. Goes up with it, hits the front of the iron. McAleer on the break. Open, Christian Sweeney, 3, no good. Gibbons nearly gets the rebound, and he does. Hall looking for a pass, and he's going to get called for the travel as he hesitated after getting the basketball from Gibbons.
He's hesitant with the ball. He's not sure whether he should shoot or pass.
Probably should have shot because McAleer was guarded in the paint, but he's not much of a perimeter shooter. Coach Ryan Swaller, down 3 after blowing a 10-point halftime lead, has to regather the troops here for Fairfield Warde. I know you play for New Canaan, Brendan, but if you're Fairfield Warde right now, what are you telling your players? They've blown that big lead. This is a talented team on both sides of the ball. What do you tell them to keep them mentally in this game?
Well, you got to tell them that they got to rebound on offense and defense. The Rams are getting second chance points on offense and
game. We've seen some crazy finishes in this gym before. Gibbons gets it to Sweeney, and Coach Smith calls a timeout with 58.7 seconds left. It's been one wild quarter. Let's take you through some of the big plays. Brendan, as our basketball guy, what's happening?
Just like I said, Fairfield Warde finally got some second chance points, and that's why they scored on that last possession.
You mentioned the magician at work and Ryan McAleer. He's been great inside and outside tonight.
Fairfield Warde's been able to get to the rim. That's been their main source of scoring here in the second half.
The Davis twins have been extremely active inside. Speaking of them, a beautiful dunk there from Jordan Davis off a feed from his brother. Christian Sweeney made a pair of threes in the second quarter after missing 3 threes early on in that last bucket from Brendan McMahon, who's had a solid game for Warde. It's a 1-point Rams lead. It was a back-and-forth game in the first quarter. New Canaan fell big, down double digits at the half. Our producer, Cortland Parrott, says it's going to overtime. But who knows? Anything can happen. McAleer gets it to Gibbons. Gibbons nearly loses it, pivoting around and finally finding Aaron Fishman. Fishman gets triple teamed. Jack McKenna nearly gets the steal, and finally a foul is called.
We're going to call it. Zach Smith's going to call a timeout. Good call. Your guys in the corner, you want to settle down, drop a play for the defense that Warde's in.
Good point. Coach Meltzer did that last week. Even though they had a big lead, it was a bit of a tough look. Ball was about to get stolen.
You want to be safe. You never want to turn the ball over in a situation, especially this situation.
And there's Coach Smith and Coach Tisch, as well as the rest of the New Canaan Rams coaches working over their play that they want to draw up here. It's got to be a good one with just a 1-point lead and 44 seconds left in the game. Coach Smith was the Stanford High coach for 3 seasons, used to coach under Danny Melzer. Melzer's out tonight with a sickness, a bug that's been floating around New Canaan. And even though he's a bit of a quiet guy, and he told me before the game, the players are still adjusting to me, and I'm still adjusting to them. He's only been here 5 weeks since his departure from Stanford. He's coached one heck of a game down the stretch to get them back in the game. And you also got to give credit to the rest of the coaching staff, Coach Tisch, Coach McAteer, and the rest of the squad for making up for the loss.
Next man up mentality all season long.
And a foul from either team would put them in the double bonus. So no need to go excessive fouling here. Sweeney's in the corner.
They're going to call a foul, and Sweeney will go to the line for 2 shots.
He has not shot a free throw yet tonight. Most of that work has been done by Alex Gibbons and Ryan McAleer at the charity stripe. Ben Steele is going to get into the game in a moment. So will Brendan McMahon. Christian Sweeney, first free throw is good. Clutch shot from the junior. He gets one more. Second look at that one. And it's a reach-in foul on Justin Davis that has Christian Sweeney at the line right now for New Canaan. To make it a 3-point game, Sweeney can't make it. McMahon gets the rebound for Warde. Shoved by Gibbons, nearly losing it, but retaining control. And Coach Swaller with McMahon in a tough position is going to call a timeout. It's the battle of timeouts right now.
Well, it's a similar situation to what we saw on the other end. He's picked up his dribble, he's trapped, he's off in a corner. You want to slow your guys down, you want them to be able to get off a calm, collected shot.
It's only a 2-point game after Sweeney went 1 of 2 from the line. In the back-and-forth game where New Canaan has had most of the momentum in the second half, are you settling for a 2-point shot here, or do you want to try to take the lead?
Well, that's been your bread and butter this entire half. You haven't been hitting a lot of 3-pointers in the second half if you're Fairfield Warde. So absolutely you're comfortable with the 2-pointer.
It's really been a tale of 2 halves, too, shooting-wise, because they were really hot shooting in the first half, but this half they've been cold.
Yeah. Also, you want the best shot you can take, the highest percentage shot, which would be a layup most of the time. You don't want to chuck up a 3 that is certainly less likely to go in.
As we mentioned before this game, this is a big Fairfield Warde team, a ton of big kids on this squad, and 2 great finishers in Justin and Jordan Davis, the pair of identical sophomore twins who have been carrying the load for Warde most of this season. Let's see what Coach Swaller has called up for the Mustangs here. Down 2 with 28.8 seconds left in the game. Here's Ben Steele with it. Brendan Seachin guarding him. Gets the screen from Jack McKenna. It's a double screen. Floating it down low. Davis off the glass, and Justin Davis makes it a tie ball game. We could be heading to overtime, but Gibbons loses it. Justin Davis has it to Justin Davis. It was Jordan to Justin, and Justin didn't make it.
Jump ball with 4.4 seconds left. New Canaan ball.
Coach Swaller is begging for a foul, and they won't get it. Coach Smith is going to call a timeout here, as this gym is getting a little bit too hot to handle. Let's get a replay of that. The Twins are messing me up, folks. I'm sorry. So it was a nice design play to Jordan Davis, and he made it to tie the game up.
Well, that pass really wasn't open, but that was a terrific finish by Davis.
That's all size on that one. Just went up, high points in football terms. Sorry, my bad. And he just gets it to go off the glass. Nothing but size there, really. And then it hit off Gibbons' foot or some part of his leg as he lost it. One of the Davises got it. I believe it was Jordan. And Jordan dished it to Justin. Justin missed it. There was a lot of contact. No foul was called, though.
Jump ball, New Canaan possession.
Jump ball. So the ball is back in New Canaan's hands, even though Coach Swaller and the rest of the Warde team, with a lot of contact, thought they should have gotten the ball back or some fouls in the double bonus.
New Canaan's going to get the ball on the baseline, if you're curious. So they have to travel the distance of the entire court if they're going to get a shot off.
Even after the Coach Smith timeout. 4.4 seconds left. Tie ball game at 48. Within the same week that Ryan McAleer made a game winner a year ago, in the same gym, not against the same opponent, can the Rams pull off some more magic? And who will it be? Or will this game be headed to an extra period between 2 of the FCAC's better teams?
Question is, what do you do if you're Warde? Do you press here and make it harder for them to get a shot off? Or do you not press?
You're the basketball guy, Brendan. Let's see, McAleer to Seachin. Seachin jacking it up for 3. No good, but so close. Cortland Parrott, congratulations. My producer called overtime. It will be overtime. So, folks, tune in as we got an extra period in just 1 minute. It's 48 apiece. Fairfield Warde is undefeated in FCAC play at 3-0. New Canaan is 2-1 with their lone loss coming to powerhouse Trinity Catholic a few weeks ago. This is a big game for the FCAC East Division. Not a lot of people in the stands for New Canaan student section, but it's been a back and forth between everyone in this game, Brendan. The emotions are high for both teams and both of their student sections.
You see it on the court. There's been some fighting. You hear it from the student sections. They've been jeering at each other all night long. Despite both bomb squads being relatively small on a Tuesday night right before midterms, they're loud and they're getting in.
As you see the New Canaan huddle. And there's going to go the buzzer. New Canaan was down 10 points at the half. Warde made a lot of critical mistakes early in the third quarter. New Canaan played very well, got themselves back into the game, and now we have an extra 4-minute overtime period to decide this game. Jack McKenna for Warde and John Hall for New Canaan for the tip-off. New Canaan won the tip-off, the jump ball, I should say, at the beginning of the game, and he'll win it again here with that 6'8" frame. McAleer, the Rams captain, getting it to Christian Sweeney, who made a couple of clutch threes and a free throw down the stretch to get New Canaan back in this game. Brendan Seachin, deep three, no good.
Rebound
John Hall gets the rebound. McAleer to Christian Sweeney for the triple, and no good. Again, John Hall almost gets another rebound. And it's going to be a jump ball. Good effort there from Ben Steele. You mentioned it, Brendan. Warde basketball. 3:34 left in the overtime period. Here's Brendan McMahon, the senior. It's a senior-heavy squad with the 2-star sophomore twins as well. Jack McKenna, a junior, with the ball. Give and go to McMahon. Christian Sweeney guarding him well near the perimeter. Corner for Steele. Brandon Seachin's guarding him. It's a long possession. It's nothing going right now for Warde.
It's only been 2 possessions. We're already a minute into overtime.
Jordan Davis with the ball. His brother Justin's on the bench. Getting it to McMahon. Corner, Steele, 3, no good. No scoring yet in overtime with over a minute in. Neither team has scored on their first possession. McAleer slows it down. Getting it to Sweeney. Joey Golbin's guarding him. Looking for a travel call, and they won't get it on Christian Sweeney. John Hall sets the screen up. Corner, it's Christian Sweeney. Here's Gibbons. Seachin, corner, 3 up. 3, no good. The rim is not being kind to either team right now. Brandon McManus. Drives, can't finish. Teams are 0 for 4 on shots so far in overtime. Brandon Seachin signals to slow it down. Gibbons had a bit of a mismatch on McManus, but Davis closed in to stop him from getting to the lane. McAleer getting guarded by Steele. Davis on Gibbons. Back to McAleer. Seachin's open somewhat, and then Golbin closes in. Foul is called.
Foul on Joey Golbin.
That's actually not going to be on Golbin. It's an off-ball foul on Brendan McMahon. So Brendan Seachin will head to the line. He doesn't get to the line too often, but Brendan, you see Brandon in practice a lot. It's actually not going to be Brendan. Too many names. It's not going to be Brandon shooting free throws. It will be John Hall from the line. And John Hall splashes home the first.
First point here in overtime.
And it's a big one.
Halfway in.
Second shot from Hall from the line. Can the 6'8" senior provide more touch at the stripe? He does. McMahon, critical possession here for Warde. A minute 40 and counting in OT. New Canaan up 2. Here's Joey Golben. Golben goes up with it. It's denied by Alex Gibbons. Floating it up to John Hall on the break, and John Hall slam jam. The bomb squad's on fire.
And they call the foul on Jack McKenna. He's out of the game.
McKenna fouls out. That's his 5th. John Hall with the and one dunk, and then he doesn't connect with Coach Smith on the high five. What a phenomenal overtime period it is for an unsung hero, senior big man John Hall.
He's normally a quiet guy, but he is pumped up after violating Jack McKenna on the dunk.
Okay. Well, when you're 6'8", it's a pretty good chance you're going to finish with a slam in the lane on a fast break. Smart pass, put it well in front of him, and bang with the right hand. He might or might not have dunked on you at some point during preseason, if I'm not mistaken, but
not on me, but on someone else.
Oh. He banks home the free throw. It's Warde basketball. John Hall has scored all 5 overtime points. Warde needs some points fast. McMahon shake and bake on McAleer. Here's Justin Davis. Davis drives Ryan McAleer.
By Gibbons, but they're going to call a foul.
And he stares him down at the end.
Alex Gibbons, that's his 3rd, 10th team.
So
now
Davis.
Fairfield Warde is in the double bonus, although this is a shooting foul, so it would not make a difference.
One of the biggest moments of his young varsity career. Overtime free throw number 1 is good, with some help from the front iron. 4-point game. Let's get a second look at that menacing block foul. To be honest, looking at the replay, I don't see a lot of contact from Gibbons.
He hit him with the body on the way down.
Good point, but nothing really with the hand or the swat. He drills both from the line. Justin Davis, 2 for 2.
Excellent poise from the sophomore.
Back to a 3-point game. McAleer in trouble. Christian Sweeney loses it. Joey Golben 3. No good. Alex Gibbons gets the rebound. Big fast break opportunity. Dishing it. Christian Sweeney, no finish. Warde with the rebound. Steele rips it away from Alex Gibbons. Joey Golben will slow it down with a minute remaining. 3-ball attempt from Steele is no good. And the ball is still in Warde possession after Hank Poley loses it. 3-ball from Justin Davis is no good.
Rebound Fishman, and he'll go to the line for a double bonus.
Fishman is tackled on the way down. And as you mentioned, 2 critical free throws for one of the clutchest free throw shooters in the FCAC, and Aaron Fishman. This is his time to shine. That foul was on Joey Golben. He's 1 away from fouling out, as they kind of need to intentionally foul here, even though it's still just a 1-possession game with just over 50 seconds left. Fishman, no good on the first free throw. Last year in that comeback win over Stanford, Fishman was fouled on a 3 late in the game and made all 3 free throws from the line to set up the game-winning shot from Ryan McAleer seconds later. But here he misses his first shot from the line. It's still a 1-possession game, but he drills the second.
Now that makes it a 2-possession game unless they can get it.
And 1 3.
4-point play.
McMahon, no good. Fishman.
Another rebound from Fishman.
Big rebound from the small one. Working it up the court. And finally he's fouled. That's the one guy you do not want to foul in this situation.
He's in the game because of his free throw shooting ability right now. And he's going to look to put this game away here.
Warde must not have watched that new Canaan Stanford tape last year to realize we're sending the wrong guy to the line. Fishman drills it.
How about the rebounding from Fishman? He's a smaller guy, but he has rebounds on back-to-back defensive possessions.
Crafty, good handle, and clutch in big moments. That's a pretty great role for him on this team. He drills the second. It's now a 6-point game with just over half a minute left. Davis nearly loses it. And Davis deep three. And
Banks
it's
it
in!
home. And a timeout will be called by Ryan Swaller.
Wow,
It's not over here.
a shot. The Davis twins are not afraid to let it rip. Let's get a second look at that one. What a gutsy shot. But
It's
with his
almost
team
a
down
desperation
6.
heave, but being a great shooter like Davis is, falls in.
That was Justin Davis, number 10. With the game looking all but over, with a 6-point lead and just half a minute left, Justin Davis, who nearly lost the ball on the same possession, drills the bank shot 3. And if this game were to go into another overtime, it could, because that would be fun. But we'll see what happens. There are no ties in basketball.
You just got to get the ball in here. You can't have a 5-second violation. That'd be absolutely devastating.
Mackler gets it to Gibbons. Gibbons is trapped. Gets it to Fishman. They don't want to foul him. Christian Sweeney back to Fishman. Fishman to Gibbons. Just 14 seconds left, and finally someone is fouled. It's Alex Gibbons.
They finally get to the line, but they bled 10 precious seconds of clock there.
Not only that, but the Rams are on their free throw shooting lineup right now, and they're sending another seasoned veteran to the charity stripe in Alex Gibbons. He's averaging 21 points per game over the last 3. He's got to have close to, if not 20, in this one. Drills the free throw. Back to a 2-possession game. 13.3 seconds left. Gibbons drills both with perfection from the line. Calm and cool demeanor. Steele nearly loses it.
Gibbons was out of bounds while in contact with the ball, so it'll stay in Ward's possession.
Warde has a bit of hope here.
7.1 seconds left, a 5-point deficit. You're looking for a quick shot, likely to one of the Davises, and then you're going to have to trap on the inbound.
Both the Davises are in. Jordan just checked in alongside his brother Justin. They get it to Justin Davis. Davis, 3-ball up, 3-ball no good. Mackler gets the rebound, and that's your ball game. Alex Gibbons finishes with 22 points.
Like we said at the beginning, it was a dogfight from start to finish. It was looking for a while. It was looking bleak for the Rams for a while, but the resilience of this group shines through, and they're able to win in overtime.
In the final in overtime, the first OT game for either team this season, New Canaan, the victor, 58, now 6-2 on the year, riding a 3-game winning streak. Fairfield Warde with their second loss on the year and their first loss in FCAC play. They dipped to 4-2. Alex Gibbons had 22 points, his 3rd time in the last 4 games with over 20. Ryan McAleer, the senior captain, finished with 12. And stud junior Christian Sweeney made 2 triples and a couple of nice free throws to finish with 9 points. Meanwhile, for Fairfield Warde, the star of the Davis twins was Jordan Davis for most of the game. He had 16 points, but it was Justin Davis, his twin brother, who had that clutch 3 to keep them in the game late. What does this kind of win mean for this New Canaan team? Doubted early on in the year after some tough losses, but back-to-back wins against Danbury and Warde.
Well, it shows what this team can overcome. It's a Tuesday night, not a large crowd. Your coach is not there. You're down 10 points at halftime. Warde went on a 20-3 run in the first half, and they're still able to overcome that and win in overtime. It shows how this team can overcome these deficits, and they'll be a team to reckon with come playoff time.
Their upcoming schedule is an interesting one. New Canaan will play Stamford Friday, Wilton Tuesday, and Trumbull next Friday. Meanwhile, we will have Fairfield Warde playing Bridgeport Central on Friday. They actually play a home game tomorrow against Amity, and they play the undefeated Staples records next Tuesday. Thank you so much for tuning into this one. Thank you, Cortland Parrott, our producer, Ashley Wolpers, our camera woman, alongside Harry Lee, our cameraman down on the floor, TD Technical Director Emily Fox, Cortland Parrott again, our advisor Roman Sobolski, our athletic director Jay Egan, our JV basketball analyst Brendan Tiscornia. I'm Ian Nicholas. We'll see you next time. Final score 58-53, New Canaan Rams win.